That really was. And then, I don't know if other ones are in here, some of the other ones from Leesburg are...
Well, we have 3 books.
Okay, then there was the Floyd Groves and Knowles Groves. And I dated Diana Knowles, and her father liked me so much, he goes, you know, if you marry my daughter, someday you might own all that property I have. They had 8,000 acres over toward Wildwood.
That's crazy.
But we were...
Oh, okay. One thing, well, I want to get a close-up of this picture, of this label.
Large one?
Yes, Mammy. Yes. Okay, never know. Okay, so Stephen Brewer,
yes.
You just told me a great story about Mammy. So can you tell it for everybody here? Let us see.
All right, I grew up in Leesburg, Florida, which was back then was the heart of citrus country. Minute Maid chose to put its first plant in Florida, in Leesburg, Florida. It was on Lake Griffin there.
I didn't realize that. I thought it was in Orlando for some reason.
No, it was in Leesburg, Florida.
Okay.
And you could... I grew up with that smell of that citrus rind, like I think people in Manatee County still get some of that, but I grew up, knowing that. And that was the heart of citrus industry. Matter of fact, we didn't have electricity, or we had electricity, but
you're
well, not that
old.
we didn't have air conditioning and heating in our high school.
Right.
So when it got down to below 40, we didn't have to go to high school. But we could work in the groves because, they were worried about citrus protection.
They wanted to use the heaters.
I mean, where the commissioner's team. Is he?
You go out that way? Yes. And then you take the golf cart across to the building.
Okay, all right.
I know, amazing. Where does it say info center?
Do we need to start over or what?
Yeah. Okay, so when it got down below 40, we didn't have to go to school, and then we'd work in the fields for the farmers because they would worry about crop protection.
Right.
So we would do the smudge pots, which is a no-no, and even worse, burn the tires in the old days. And that was good work because they paid us cash and they paid us well. But as one of my friends in high school was Jeff Herlong.
Okay.
And the Herlong family, I think the father was a senator, a state senator. And so he was always off, and his mom worked. So they had a mammy. And then years later, I wasn't too involved with their packing house. Years later, I saw this mammy label
right?
that the Herlong packing house had put out, and had good memories of her. As a matter of fact, the likeness is good.
So she really was their mammy?
She was the mammy for the Herlong family, and they paid her for having her face on the label. She got, it wasn't a lot of money, but it was enough money. I think it was like a half-cent a label, but it added up enough for her to kind of retire and move with her family to North Carolina, to where they had other relatives up there. So the mammy label is a real thing. She really existed. She was a sweet lady, and as I told you earlier, she made me the first banana and peanut butter sandwich I'd ever had. And at first I didn't want it, and she said, just try it. And so yeah, that was, and then the other families were I went to school with B.G. Floyd, Bill Floyd, which is the Floyd packing house, and the Knowles family, the Knowles packing house. So back then, Leesburg was the heart.
It was, absolutely.
But then came the freeze, and I want to say the freeze of '61.
I know there was one in the 60s that took it out.
It killed the town.
Yeah.
My parents' business went bankrupt because of that, because it was so citrus oriented, the whole town was, that and I was in those fields and I could hear the trees explode.
Exploding.
And that's something most people have never heard, but a citrus tree will explode and pop. But we were trying to burn and everything else when that came, but it was a tough time for Leesburg, and the tough times came even after that as people lost their whole groves, their whole livelihood.
Absolutely, right.
So that was an interesting. Any other questions?
Well, you said some of it. Do you remember any of the other labels that you had any stories like that about?
No.
No.
I just saw B.G. Floyd at a class reunion, and I asked him if he had any labels because the Floyd labels are fairly rare. I have a small collection that I just picked up here and there,
Right.
and it's a fun collection.
Well, you'll have to go on our website, FloridaCitrusHallOfFame.com, and
Yes.
look for the labels that we have and see if there are any that are missing that you might have.
All right, I will. Thank you.
So, all right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.